Welcome back, everybody. Dave the Gamer here. Today got another gold farm for you that is going to net you over 100 gold an hour. What I'm talking about is farming for Essence of Air in Silithus. So after I released a video on the Earth Elementals, a bunch of people reached out and was like, why don't you do the Essence of Air? I feel like I just had bad luck in the past. I felt like I killed hundreds of them and never got any Essence of Air. So I completely, stopped farming them altogether. But after hearing so many different people reach out and say, you need to try these again, I wanted to test it out. So, disclaimer, if you are on a super populated server, then yes, any open world farming is probably not for you. Go get a mage and stick to dungeon boosting because apparently you guys just can't farm outside. So for every other server, like my server is a medium pop server, but in general, even on this server, it can get packed. There's no doubt. The key, if it is packed, one, you learn how they actually respawn so you can mob tag before anybody else, causing them to leave. And two, you try to get on, before work or late at night. The earlier and the later, the better. So right now it's about 8 o'clock server time for me, and there's not a single soul here. So there'll be people that come by just to check on the Black Lotus locations, which there's like 4 within this little area. So if you are herbalism, there's a high chance that, especially if you come on early or late, that you're going to also get a Black Lotus. So I'm not factoring, obviously, getting a Black Lotus in. But I tested this over 2 hours is what I tested it at. The first hour, I was upwards to 160 gold. But I was like, you know what? That sounds a little unrealistic. So I'm going to test the second hour just to kind of get more of an average. And I think over 100 gold an hour is something easily attained. And this is for any class. So I don't care. I did this specifically on my Warlock just to show it's not just for mages. And what I hate that I fucking did this is since I am on my Warlock, I am not herbalism. Over the course of 2 hours, I seen 2 Black Lotus, one spawn here and one spawn here, and I'm not able to get it. By the time I could switch to my mage, who wasn't even close, it ended up getting taken. So screw you guys for making me prove the point of it can be done on anything other than mages, because if I ever show my mage in a film, they're like, oh, another mage farm. No, this is a farm for everybody to use. But the best, so there's 2 main spots to actually farm these. You got this little spot over here, and then you got over here. So what I'll show you exactly what I do. And if you are a Warlock, I recommend going DSSM for the fact that you can sacrifice your Voidwalker to get 3% health back every 4 seconds. It really helps with not having to drink much. And then using the Siphon Life is just excellent. So I never try to pull anything less than really 2 or 3 at a time. Really, I want 3 bare minimum. Typically what I'll do is I'll end up, by the end of it, I'll pull 4 or 5, bandage up, and then pull another 2 or 3. So I'm going to show you. It looks like there's actually someone here, which, like I said, I was here for 2 hours and there was nobody here. So I'll show you exactly how I do my pulls. So if you're not familiar with them, they create a big lightning cloud. So what I do is I like to pull them all to me, let them create their lightning cloud, and then move out of it. So I always start with an immolate, and then all of my other dots, and that's all that's required to kill it. Now, I'm only in MC with a couple BWL pieces, so I'm not geared out. If you're geared in AQ gear, I could definitely see you making upwards to 130 gold an hour because you'd kill them much faster. So as I start, the first one's already dying. I'm running to the next one. I always try to get my immolate off first. There's the lightning cloud that I was speaking of. That does decent damage. So there's 4 pulled all together. And then I'll just wand the last one and then collect my loot. And then as soon as I kill this 4th one and I collect the loot. So now that they're all dead, I'll go around, collect all my different loot here. And if I get, I got 1 essence of air. So I'm not going to factor that in. So I would start life tapping, bandage up, pull another 3, then drink up. So I can get a total of 7 before I have to actually sit down and eat. So overall, this is a very easy gold farm. Like I said, you have this whole spot. I always start with like my immolate, and then as I'm casting my dots, I'm running to the next pack so I can cast another immolate on the next one. So I just keep moving, never stopping really. And yeah, so this spot has, I don't know, I want to say at least 20, 30 different locations. And then you have the black lotus spawn that spawns up here. Like I said, you do have people running through here all the time. And then you can also come over on this other side. So now that you see exactly where to farm them at, how to farm them at, and anybody can do it, let's take a look at the loot. So I'm not going to factor the one I just got because I already timed out at the 2 hours. But over the course of the 2 hours, subtracting this one, I got 14 Essence of Air, 10 silver apiece. That's 1.4 gold. 13 Breath of Wind at 8 silver, 1 gold. I got 25 in greens, and really I got this signet that's worth 50 gold, but I could only imagine if I put this into my valuation, everybody would be harping on it. So what I did is I factored it as a 5 gold green, when realistically I made even more off it. So I got a total of 25 gold in greens, so not bad. I mean, a couple of them disenchant 2, 3 gold. The staff disenchants at 5 gold. Like I said, I factored this at 5 gold. But it's actually a nice little extra amount. Where all the money is at is the Essence of Air. On my server, they're 19 gold a piece, and they sell pretty quickly. So over the course of 2 hours, I made 217 gold divided by 2. I made 108 gold an hour here. And like I said, that's not factoring some of the better loots. That's not factoring if you would have got a black lotus or other herbs. So this spot is excellent. Like I said, come on early. Come on super late. If it's packed, check out some of my other videos. I have my alts scattered around, basically a couple of the best gold farms out there, and I'll log on one. If it's packed, check another spot, So I'm always rotating between some of the best farms out in the open world. Obviously mage farming is the best, but for every other class that doesn't have a mage, I wanted to show you a couple different ways that you can make gold without having to rely on being a mage. I wanted to give a big shout out to all of my gold patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you want to support the channel, check the description for the links to my Patreon and merch. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As always though, game on.